Mocast, the podcast beyond World of Warcraft.
Welcome, dear viewers, to the second episode of the Mocast podcast. That has a nice ring to it. Actually, I think it's the first time I say those.
We never
two
thought
words.
about it, but it's really
back
good.
to back.
It's really good.
So today we're gonna have, like every other episode, we're gonna have a guest. We're gonna talk. It's all gonna be all about the guest. Ask some questions. See how the person is behind the, I guess, the webcam
and the content and everything. And as last week, if we went into the lore behind Noble, today we're gonna get into some data mining and some testing and stuff, because we have today the one and only MrGM.
Hey,
how about that intro, man?
It was perfect, amazing. It was like you planned it.
Yeah, it's super freestyle. So, MrGM, also known as Dan. All right, man. Tell us a bit about yourself before we can go into the meat and salt and potatoes on this.
Lots of salt.
potatoes.
Yeah, so MrGM, obviously, make you videos on YouTube and stream on Twitch and stuff like that. Kind of looking into like the data, I guess. Like, I mean, there's, you know, I look at bits and pieces and stuff. Like, there's obviously way smarter people out there, but I look at, you know, some cool stuff, customization and various. I don't know. I'm just kind of. I find stuff on the beta. The beta's been super fun. And yeah, every day is a new adventure of finding weird and wonderful things on the Shadowlands beta. But I love it. Honestly, it's so much fun.
It's super awesome because I think there's not much content creators right now that actually do this. So like MrGM has been doing this for quite a while. Like I remember also from Battle for Azeroth, he was also like in the alpha and beta, like looking up and finding all these weird and interesting things, man. And obviously we have Wowhead, who they have their team of data miners and stuff, but there's no like human being on YouTube and Twitch like who actually shows this stuff like on a regular basis. So I think that's really that's like a really cool field to have, and we are thankful for having MrGM and providing all of this like unusual or undigged, is that a word?
Can we what?
Not digged already, unrevealed? I don't know, man. Making up words. All right. So let's today we're gonna have like a super chill chat up. Obviously, we got to know a little bit what MrGM does on YouTube, but let's see what does he do on World of Warcraft. Now, I know, Dan, that you got your own World of Warcraft account on Christmas Eve. Now,
Sure.
I remember, man. Now, was that the best Christmas ever?
It was the best day of my life. Well, I was already playing it. That's the thing. So I was playing it on my brother's account beforehand, for like months and months on vanilla, and then like Christmas Day, because it was funny because it was Christmas Day on 2006. So yeah, so my mum bought it. She started paying for it and stuff, and I was like, yeah, thanks, you know. And then like I think like 2 weeks later, Burning Crusade came out, so I was just like, yeah, could you get this one as well?
That sounds like vanilla WoW. Just when you got into the game, it's like, oh, TBC's out now too. I think that's
But yeah, I remember like back when you had like I think it was all the way up to Cataclysm. Like if you had a friend who was like, oh, I want to start playing WoW, you literally had to buy every single expansion.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
It was pretty expensive back then. Obviously now you just pay the sub and get. I think you still have to buy BFA at the moment, but yeah,
I think it's base game plus
every
expansion.
Yeah, base game plus latest expansion. That's how it is. But
yeah.
Dan is right. That's what it used to be. Like if you wanted to be able to play, you needed the latest expansion all the time. It was one time. I don't know. Was it up until Kata or maybe up until Mop?
It was, yeah. It might have been Mr. Pandaria, yeah, I think you're right. Because you used to get the battle chest, which was vanilla and TBC.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
then you'd get Wrath, and then you get the other. Yeah, so you're probably right, yeah. At one point, I think it was like nearly like £100 to start playing WoW.
Yeah, it was for a lot of people, it was expensive, but I think like you were probably more of a teenager back then, I'm guessing, like when you started out.
Yeah, I was like,
it's like interesting because we talked about this a couple of times. It's interesting how the World of Warcraft crowd right now is made up of people like you, like us, people like who are adults at this point, like with jobs or careers or whatever, and it's being supported. I mean, this is why we talk with Noble a little bit too. You don't see too much. I don't want to sound too
Young blood.
Too much young blood, yeah, in the game anymore. It's like sustained by this whole crowd. Obviously, there's toxicity and stuff all over the place, but I feel right now that World of Warcraft, its player base, it's much more mature.
Well,
than it
if
was
not
back in the
mature,
day?
it's definitely older. I feel like the demographic for World of Warcraft players
But
tends into like the 20s to 40s, maybe even older. Like we know a couple.
how many people do you know that have 20 years old and play World of Warcraft? No,
It's pretty low. I mean, I've had some viewers who are like maybe like early 20s and stuff, but other than that, like yeah, for the most part, like mostly my age. I mean, if I looked at my analytics on YouTube, it's literally just my age bracket,
Yeah.
and then maybe like a few others. But
yeah,
it's not
that's
like
true.
it's not like Fortnite or something like that where it's like a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
So-
but circling back, I mean, Flame, I don't know about you, but receiving a game on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, especially if you're inclined a bit to, to play more or something like that, it is something really special. I know when I got my Super Nintendo, it was on Christmas Eve too, and I can compare, like, if you got your WoW account on Christmas Eve, I mean, that Christmas Eve or Christmas Day was all day playing that shit. No problem.
No family, no dinners, no nothing.
Nothing. I mean, probably because your mom would nag you. It's like, come on down. You have relatives and say hello or something. But
It's true. Well, to be honest, I still, even now, I'll play at least a little bit on Christmas Day just so I could do like the, is it
man.
the present under the tree?
Oh,
like
yes,
every year,
yes.
I at least like 10 minutes, just run in there, grab the thing, and then run
Yes.
out. But
that's
yeah,
so
it's
cool. That's so
there's
cool.
something about WoW and Christmas, like that whole event is just like super cozy and fun for
Oh
me.
yes, they
Oh,
nailed
you
it.
managed to associate both of those two. Oh, that must
it's only natural.
that end of the year must be like the best time of the year. Like, okay,
Yeah,
fair
I
enough.
really like Halloween though. If I had to pick a favorite WoW season, it would probably be Halloween. But I got the mount, so it doesn't really matter anything.
That's why he loves it now.
Yeah, reminds me of good times.
Yes.
Speaking of the best holiday, what would you say is your best or your like fondest WoW memory? Like, if you can remember.
Or the best experience, something like that, like something that really marked you in World of Warcraft. It's still with you today. You cannot get it off.
Oh,
Can
wow.
be good, can be bad.
Dude, I don't know.
Got him.
I guess just like a general time in WoW, like was when I was, I think it was Burning Crusade. I was like maybe 16, if that. And we used to raid Karazhan all the time. Like we were just like this really small guild because obviously Karazhan 10-man raid. And yeah, we just used to raid Karazhan. We never even finished it. We got up to, I think it was slightly further than Curator in BC, but yeah, it was just fun, like memeing on like voice chat and stuff. It's sad now because I haven't played with a guild probably since Burning Crusade, like at least like in a not a semi-serious, but like in a in a manner of like raiding every week and stuff like that. I mean, I've raided in Classic recently, but other than that, it's retails. I'm just so casual.
Guess it's the nature of the job too, man. Because you know somebody has to dig up all that undiggable information. I'm using undiggable, okay? This is it. We're nailing it.
Patent pending.
It's like it's interesting because like obviously we have to compare right now. Like your fondest stuff is actually again something social. Like remembering you did stuff with your mates in Karazhan. So I think. Like we're gonna have this question for all the people we're gonna have on the podcast. It's gonna be an interesting social experiment to see if all of the fondest memories always tie in with this social aspect, right? Because this is so huge for World of Warcraft. Do you think it's still huge right now, Dan?
Yeah, it's funny actually because you like talking to my viewers and stuff. Like some of them would say, "Oh, I really like WoD," and you're like, "What?" Like WoD was kind of
Oh, you want to go in there?
WoD was not the best, but like they say the reason they liked it so much is because the people they were playing with at the time and what they were doing, like they were raiding with their friends and they're like that for them is like a super great memory, even if the expansion was kind of crap. Like you look at like BFA for example, like there's a lot of people that really enjoyed BFA because they got into raiding for the first time or they like started actually progressing their character properly and learning the game. And
I got into raiding in BFA, so I 100% understand and agree.
Exactly. Obviously, it had its problems, but like you probably will look back at it and go, "That was a really fun time for me." So, yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. I mean, for WoD for me was just horrendous, but like the for other people, it said like, you know, I heard the rating was pretty good.
The rating, yeah, I can attest to that. I read it in WoD, and it was pretty good. I think they didn't really slip with rating. The only negative thing that I can think about when it comes to rating is probably Deathwing, and that just because it's
Deathwing?
not what. Yeah, Cataclysm, Deathwing.
I did that.
I just think that it's not what people expected it to be, and that was mainly the letdown. But overall, I feel like they nailed the rating, and it's just interesting because if I think of my fondest WoW memory, it's always attached to a social aspect because I think it's easier to connect with people and share that moment together when you both, or for all 5 or however big the party is, you go into like that one zone. Funny that you mentioned Karazhan because those are my fondest WoW memories altogether, since TBC was where I really hit my stride. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
So much in common right now. You should be best friends.
Maybe we raided together. Who knows?
At some point.
Probably not. I was playing Private Service back then.
Don't say that, Flame. We don't talk about that.
It's a taboo words. Got a blacklist.
All right, but let's move it a little bit to the current days of World of Warcraft. So, MrGM, obviously you've been on the alpha and the beta on Shadowlands and stuff. There's a lot of talk. We know the hot points and the hot discussions on Shadowlands currently, but what I wanted to hear from your point of view is like, what do you think, like right now, what do you think are Shadowlands' strongest points? Like from what you tested, what you play, what's your take on that? I mean, I don't want to go into the negative stuff. What do you think is good about it?
I mean, from a filthy casual point of view, obviously the customization is just fantastic. It's,
I knew he was gonna say that.
But other than that, I guess I really like the aesthetic of all the Covenants. I love the art, like the art team always. Every single time, every expansion, they just do such good work. But the actual aesthetic of all of them and how different they are, and theming, and even some of the stories and some of the creativity and the questing has been super, kind of ramped up from Battle for Azeroth for sure. But I mean, obviously there's concerns with various bits and pieces, but I'm looking forward to. I guess with BFA and Xandar and stuff like that, it kind of felt more grounded, like kind of realistic to a point. Yeah. Where this is like super hyper, like the art team, they probably told them, right, just go nuts, just make the craziest looking things you can. And I kind of prefer those expansions, which is why I liked TBC so much, because TBC was such a polar opposite in art style to vanilla, where vanilla was like kind of realistic in a to a degree, and then like TBC was just nuts, floating rocks and flying things and all sorts of craziness. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. But I'm trying not to burn myself out too much on playing it. Like I'm not getting too much into the story and progressing too much. I've been doing a bit of did some Mythic 2 testing yesterday. It was kind of fun.
With the new affixes and stuff, were those in? Did you?
Look, come on, look, we just Mythic 2 for now. We'll get there.
You mentioned that you really enjoyed the art style. I mean, we cannot not agree that the art team has been working overtime to carry all of the other systems. But I do agree. Like when I went into the Covenant Sanctums, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually felt. I haven't felt like that since Legion's Class Order halls, and by doing all of them, I felt like I resonate more with the Venthyr one, because for whatever reason I wanted Maldraxxus when I saw BlizzCon. But what would your ideal Covenant be like? What attracts you the most? Where do you think you will belong the most?
See, I really wanted the Maldraxxus one because I kind of always liked the undead stuff. I loved Wrath of Lich King and all that kind of theming. But honestly, like seeing the aesthetic and stuff, I really like the Kyrian stuff, like super light, super sunny all the time, really bright. Like that's been kind of cool. I've just gone Kyrian on my Hunter, and I was doing the whole intro quest, just closing my eyes. I was like just clicking stuff.
No spoils.
But I really like their Covenant stuff and the story that's going on there. And you've got like Uther's going to be involved in there somehow, and stuff like that. The other one, I guess, is Venthyr, where I really like that theming. The like super vampire, like gothic theming is super cool, and I can't wait to see the raid. But the Kel'Thas, like having Kel'Thas back, we still haven't seen him in game.
Oh yes.
Which has been kind of interesting. So that's one thing I do want to play through is the Venthis story. And I guess having the beta and having those characters being able to like, you make like an instant 60, I probably can experience the Covenant story, which I probably won't experience when I'm like, if I make, you know, if I don't have any alts or whatever, or don't go on different Covenants, I'll maybe experience it just through the beta. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's I guess it's pretty hard as a content creator, especially content creator for World of Warcraft, to not get all the spoilers. It's like when you're pumping out, you have access to the alphas and the betas, and you obviously want to put out content for folks who are interested in streaming and stuff. It gets close to impossible to not spoil yourself. I mean, gone are the days when you would get surprised, like, oh, the expansion is out, and now I'm gonna get into it 100%. Obviously, we had access to betas and alphas before, but I don't know about you. I didn't really go into much stuff to spoil myself. I was waiting for, you know, getting to discover things within the game when it launched. But hey, that's, I guess, the trade-off. I don't know.
Like, I guess the thing with especially more modern WoW is this expansion specifically is the most encrypted expansion we've ever had. So there's like tons of encrypted files, tons of encrypted stories. You know, like I remember 8.25 had the whole war campaign was encrypted all the way up through PTR, all the way up until the release of the patch. So there is some goodies in there for sure that no one's going to see until Shadowlands launches. However, most of it will probably need testing, so they're not going to keep everything encrypted forever. But there's definitely some stuff in there. And I think having it kind of half broken as well with no voice acting and stuff makes it a lot easier not to get too engrossed in the story. Yeah. So that's kind of nice that the cutscenes being completely broken, or like a big thing saying awesome cutscene here, and you're like, okay, nice. But yeah, so I kind of try not to pay too much of attention to the story, but you know, as you said, it's pretty much impossible at this point. It's
gone are the days. All right, well, now Dan, we are all super geeks and fans of World of Warcraft. However, we will go a little bit beyond World of Warcraft, go a little bit beyond, you know, what it means to be a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer, and all of that. And one thing that is like, I know I'm super curious, and I'm pretty sure a lot of your audience is also curious. When you take a break from Twitch, from YouTube, what does a day like that look like for you?
I normally go outside. Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah.
It's quiet outside.
Yeah, no. I mean, because I take the weekends off. So I literally, so it's kind of funny. I would stream all week and make videos all week. But as soon as Saturday, Sunday comes along, I pretty much just go away from the internet. Like I don't even go on the computer on the weekends. And it's super great for, you know, my mental health and everything like that. And it's just nice to be kind of away. But yeah, I'll normally like genuinely go to like with my girlfriend, we'll go to like a forest somewhere. We'll just kind of wander around and explore stuff. And, you know, before everything, we would go, you know, away to different countries and whatever every now and then. We love traveling. Like we used to, you know, before everything kind of ruined my days. But it used to be, we used to go, you know, to BlizzCon, and we used to go over to Walt Disney World in Florida. We'd go to like Amsterdam, for example. Like we went there last December. And like just random places, we'd always try and go somewhere new for the most part. And then I guess off stream I've been playing like the one, because like I don't want to play too much beta off stream, right? That's the thing right now. So like I play beta on stream, and I don't want to find anything off stream because then people don't see it or whatever. Because I kind of feel guilty, I guess, to a point.
That makes sense.
So I refound Classic. I just started playing Classic again off stream because I used to stream Classic back in August when it launched for a couple months, and it got to a point where I was like being trolled by these complete like bad people, right?
The internet, my friend. Yes, we all know about those.
They were assholes, and they really, you know, honestly, like maybe close to like quitting streaming and stuff because they were just such
really
assholes.
Oh, that's
oh yeah, it's terrible.
That bad?
They would I would literally turn on the stream and I'll start leveling, and then they would just like constantly kill me for 3 hours straight.
Wow.
That was the stream.
Stream snipers, right?
Yeah, it was an entire guild full of them.
Oh,
and I mean, I could get
those,
into it, but it's awful, right? So in the end, just kind of quit Classic. Like it just left a really bad taste in my mouth. But I've refound it off stream, So I've been having a lot of fun just kind of no-lifing that, like doing weird stuff that I've never done in WoW, like leveling cooking. Like I've never ever done that ever.
What an exciting adventure!
but it's nice because I don't like feel the pressure to do stuff for the stream. You know, like have to like talk to the stream or anything. I just put on a bit of music and kind of do like, for example, like I'm leveling herbalism. I'll just run around in the same spot. That's not fun stream content, but I don't mind doing it off stream. It keeps me.
Yeah. It's good for you to maybe unwind a little bit from everything you do during the week. So if that works.
and it's still WoW as well. I kind of just haven't really played retail either, to be honest. Like I went on there.
Oh, really?
Yesterday to get a refer a friend mount that someone gave me. But other than that, no, but actually, well, no, I am lying. I did play a bit because I recently got my girlfriend into WoW for the first time.
Okay, well there you go.
So we've been leveling together, which has been fun. She still has no idea what's going on. Like she's level 7 because of the level boost thing. She's just been flying up the levels, just like I don't know where I'm doing or what I'm going. But I'm like, it's fine. You figure it out.
Yeah, it will eventually catch up.
So when you disconnect and don't play on live, do you have like any other games that you're interested in that you might be playing that are not World of Warcraft?
Yeah, so it's funny because they released I think it was a trailer for the new like Crash Bandicoot game, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick up the new. I already had it on Steam. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna complete the Crash Bandicoot remake thing they did like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So that was super fun. I've been playing that off stream, which has been kind of nice. And I played Temtem. I don't know if you ever played that game or heard of it. It's kind of like Pokemon. Temtem, yeah.
Oh, we have to look this up, man.
Yeah,
it's like Pokemon, but not Pokemon. It's in early access, but I played that a little bit, so that was fun.
I'm actually secretly a fan of Pokemon.
So it's like rip-off Pokemon, but it's like an MMO, so it's kind of nuts. So like other people running around with a little... Yeah, it's wild, but it's super fun. So that game was fun. And then, yeah, I just have a Switch, so I play like Switch games. Like Breath of the Wild was one of the best games I played last year.
Oh man,
absolutely amazing.
Wanted to get in that.
But yeah, there's a lot. I really like nostalgia games as well. So like, I'll sometimes just be like, oh man, I really want to play through like Metal Gear Solid 1 on the PS1. So I'll like
that's
dust it off and play through that.
Nostalgia stuff.
Over and over.
Was there was there like any
know.
game that had an impact on you, that impressed you in some way, maybe inspired you?
Apart from World of Warcraft,
yeah,
of course.
Apart from WoW. I mean, I literally, so we used to just have a PlayStation. That was kind of our thing. So as I said, like Metal Gear Solid was like literally like Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, like some of the best games I've ever played in my life. And I used to play them all the time when I was younger, obviously. And Crash Bandicoot. That was literally the two series that I only ever really played. Like I never played like Final Fantasy. I never played like
not major RPGs and stuff.
Yeah, nothing really.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of seeing them now. Like I think, my girlfriend recently bought Witcher 3, and apparently that's amazing. So we're gonna play through that.
Dude, you have to play that, but you have to take some holiday off or something, because that's
just a holiday. I've been trying to finish it for like 5 years.
He's been doing it for years, not finished it. But it's super good.
Well,
I mean,
I never played Skyrim either.
Me neither.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I've heard it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it 3 times. It just wouldn't stick. I'm sorry. And I know Skyrim released during Cataclysm. I think Cataclysm was out, and I was so into Cataclysm during that time. I couldn't be asked. I tried it 3 times. Nope, back to WoW. Fuck it.
Every time you get something new, back to WoW.
it's our lives, our burdens.
Let's play WoW.
It is so true.
Yeah.
All right, but do you have like any other hobbies that you like? I mean, I know you like to go out in nature and travel and stuff, but anything other than that? I don't know, like playing music or drawing or I don't know, something like that. Is there anything that really gets you passionate?
Nope. Literally, it's literally like, I guess like traveling, theme parks, conventions, and like stuff like that. Right. That's pretty much it for me.
Well, traveling can be a hobby in itself. I mean, it's something that I want to explore eventually.
Good luck, man.
Yeah. Now it's another time.
Yeah. Eventually, one day we hope. But no, traveling. I mean, is obviously a very expensive hobby, and we've kind of had to give it up now because of obviously everything that's going on. Plus, we're buying a house, so we need to save money.
How does we know about the house. This has been a big thing running your Twitter and stuff. How is that working out for you? Because I know from the last thing we did 2 years ago, you were talking about this. There's like, man, I really want to move on, get more space and stuff. How is this going so far for you?
It's all right. Yeah, it's a brand new build, so we're kind of waiting on it to be finished. It was meant to be finished in July, so it would be finished now technically, but because of everything that happened, the building got kind of stopped. So that was that. So it should be done early September. We haven't even seen it yet. We've driven to like where it is, and you can see that it's built and stuff, but we can't go in because it's all being built and stuff inside. So that's really rubbish. But yeah, it should be early September. You can still
see something, right? You can see part of your dream over there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a really nice area. It's kind of like 30 minutes from where I am now. We've got one box packed. So this was funny. So we actually this is the one box I packed.
That's it.
And it says John's stuff, and I've scribbled out the word John and put Dan on it because it's my stuff now. And then and that's it. And then I realized, I was like, oh yeah, I'll pack this and this and this, and I realized I use everything. Like I can't pack my lights, can't pack my PC, can't pack my desk or anything because I'm using it all the time. So yeah, I have to pack the day before because I'm gonna have to be right. I'm I use it also. But I've never moved ever my whole life, so that's going to be
it's going to be a brand new life experience for you, Mr. GM. It's going to be pretty awesome. Hey, man, will this be like your property, your own house? Is it leased or? Oh, there you go.
Bought a house.
Fucking congratulations, man! That's a huge step. Respect to you.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It really is. I'm honestly just excited for the office. Actually being able to do stuff. I mean, obviously this is my bedroom, so it kind of sucks. I've actually got these posters here, which were on the wall, but they fell off.
Oh no! Yeah, and with the glasses.
Trilogy.
Oh, those look so good.
Oof.
So yeah, that's,
imagine the new office with all of those hanging around. I cannot wait to see how you set it all up.
Yeah, exactly. I got these 2 lights as well that are kind of. Yeah, you'll see. It'll be cool.
It's gonna be cool. I have no doubt it's gonna be cool. Super nice.
We all dream of our eventual man cave, my office room with all of my stuff, then the other room with things that I won't talk about on the internet, stuff like that. I don't know.
It's good, man. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, we got some nice juicy information so far. I think I'm loving it so far.
Yeah.
Well. Let me ask you something now, Dan. Now, in regards to the YouTube career and the journey and, the content creation stuff and all of that. So if you could go back in time with your current experience from your journey, what would you tell the 9 years younger Mr. GM when he first started YouTube? Challenging, baby.
Don't script videos.
Really? Man, I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, I haven't scripted a video in 3 years. Genuinely. I used to write out every word. But the reason I used to do that was because I had a really crappy job and I hated it. So I would spend all my time with that job writing videos. But then I ended up reading it, and I'm terrible at reading. I just sound like a robot. So now I just kind of, say for example, I don't know, I'm looking at the orc customization, right? So I'll go on to retail, I'll take a look at the orcs, and I'll be like, right, so this is old, this is old, this is old. Pull up the beta, be like, right, this is new, this is new. Put a mental note, and then I'll just go. And I've been doing so many videos, literally since Shadowlands beta came out, or alpha, whatever. I've made crikey,
there's been
60 videos. So, but I know the flow of my videos and the raw recording. You watch the video and it's all kind of smooth and sounds amazing.
That's what I was. That was.
That's not what the video's like. The actual video is me yeah. So
don't we know?
That was about
then I'll
to say.
cut it out and stuff. Sometimes it'll get sometimes it'll be say I'm doing a quest and it'll be a word that I'm how the frick do you pronounce that? So I'll go into text to speech and you'll hear it in the recording, me
no way.
typing away, and I'm
No
and then it'll say it'll do the text to speech voice, and I try and pronounce it, and it just I just cut out that bit, and it makes it seem like one big flow.
I was about to say that your videos are so smooth and they have such a nice flow. We had a couple of attempts of unscripted videos. We have to cut a bit. We have to cut. There's some there. So it's really cool to see
a bit. No. Now we cut a bit. We're talking
oh yeah,
no,
we don't talk about those days, man. It's fine. The people don't know. It's okay. So it's really nice to see like how you are as a content creator after years of experience, like how you can develop. It's actually really inspiring because I have a little bit of a problem with unscripted things. I have takes and retakes and retakes and retakes.
Oh, don't I know it?
Marcelian edits all of those retakes.
It's a beautiful thing. Oh, but you mentioned something, Dan, and I'm curious now. Before going full YouTube and Twitch, what other jobs did you do, mate? Well, what did you do?
So I used to work, I don't know if you follow like any Formula One or any cars or anything. I used to work for a company called McLaren.
Oh, we know about McLaren, man. Come on, man. We have to follow that. Jeez, okay, what'd you do there? What was the thing? What was the shtick?
So I worked in McLaren Automotive. I worked in the paint shop. I was a data analyst, so I'd like make spreadsheets and all sorts of different, like everyone on there was like kind of like hands-on sort of thing. So I was like, they would call me like the whiz kid because I knew how to use a computer.
That's so cool.
That's the guy that knows computers, man.
Yeah, literally. So they would basically be like, right, they would literally come to me with like a drawing of this thing, and they'd be like, right, this is what I want it to do. I want it to, so I put a number in there and it does this. I'm like, okay. So I ended up just like doing that for years. I was there for like 5 years. So like my dad works there, my two brothers work there, my cousin works there, like so many people work there.
Really?
So that's how I kind of got into it originally. But yeah, it got to a point where like I love the people I work with and it was super great, but I didn't like the job because I didn't have anything to do. Because once I made these spreadsheets and they started using them for tracking like panels and different things, I had nothing to do because I just made the thing. All I had to do was like keep it working, you know, like kind of like maintenance. So I just sit there and just like text on my phone or like work on videos. Like it got to a point where I was literally making like full thumbnails at work. Like I installed like Model Viewer on the work computer, and I was like making thumbnails and writing videos. And I would do the work. Like if they came up to me like, "Oh, Dan, we need to make this," I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, let's do that." But other than that, yeah, it kind of went from. So I was just like streaming in the evenings and stuff.
I remember, and you were streaming on YouTube in those times.
Yeah, I was streaming on YouTube. Yeah, I was streaming on YouTube. I was making videos on YouTube, and then it got to a point where I was like, "Wow, I could probably do this full time." So I said to my boss about it, and he was like, "Oh, you could go part time if you want." And I was like, I was like, "No, if you want to do it, you know, do it for reals." So
go full on.
Just it was sad.
Gonna go away.
Yeah, it was sad to leave, but like I feel like at this point, you know, what has it been, like 3 years, maybe coming up 3 years? It's been pretty good. I mean, it's definitely had some horrendous times, but it's been fun. I mean, right now it's the best it's ever been, obviously, you know, with everything going on. Like I did, like some of the streams, like honestly, I've had recently, I'm like, I think I'll be in viewbot or something.
No, man, I think it's natural to have your growth the way you have, especially when you, again, I don't see a lot of like streamers do the type of stuff you do and content the content you do as well on YouTube. So I think that's a really cool niche to be a part of, right? And it only grows. I mean, I've been following you like since VFA. That's what the first time I heard about you and seen your stuff, and I was like, really, man, I want to talk to this guy. This is super cool. But the growth has been there, and it's only because of perseverance and improving all the time. I've seen that. And it's like, you know, kudos to you, man. It's like if it's growing, I don't think it's view bots. I doubt it. Like view bots.
No, I don't think it is. It's more of a personal question. I'm like, this is strange. It's like, I guess it's called imposter syndrome or something, right?
yeah, we get that sometimes too.
Were you when you started doing YouTube, were you like planning to make it a full-time thing? Or
no, it was never a full-time thing ever. Like it was. I mean, I started in 2011 doing undocumented server content, let's say.
I like that, undocumented server. Write that down, man.
Yeah, so that's a whole story in itself. But the I never saw it as that. I mean, the whole story of how I got into YouTube is kind of interesting. I guess I used to watch a lot of like Total Biscuit and Wow Hobbs back in the day, and I always loved video creating. Like I used to make I used to make these, like when I was like 14, 13, like we made these trampoline wrestling things in the garden, and we would like fully edit it and film it and stuff. So I got into video editing that way, and I've always wanted to do that kind of stuff as a career.
Where are those videos, Dan? Where can...
They're actually on my computer. They are genuinely.
Dude, at some point you need to make like a, I don't know, unreleased special features DVD or something.
Never ever. They are never leaving anywhere. They're not going anywhere near the internet.
But I can bet my whole life those are super interesting and exquisite. I can bet it.
Terrible. We also what else did we do? Oh, we made like do you remember Jackass, the TV show?
Yes.
On MTV. Yeah, we made our own thing of that, which was,
of course,
as they told you not to, we definitely did do that.
I think if you put that stuff now on YouTube, they'll remove it. I think they're like really on stuff like injuries and stuff.
Yeah, that's the good old Wild West of YouTube back in 2000.
Yeah,
whatever.
It was still 2011 was still pretty Wild West on YouTube. There was a lot of shit.
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, it's a little bit more family friendly, but it's good. Like it's been fun. Like I really enjoy YouTube a lot. Like I used to say like I was a full-time YouTuber, and then and streaming was my hobby. But at this point, like with everything they're honestly like neck and neck in regards to like growth and everything like that. Like the amount of subs I've got in the last 30 days on YouTube is the same as the amount of followers I've got on Twitch. So it's like the weirdest thing, because the Twitch was always way smaller than the YouTube, and now they're kind of just like collectively going up.
Super cool, man. That's what it is. Perseverance, doing that stuff, get in the grind every time. I think the growth is natural. It has to come, right? If you keep doing it and you improving it, I cannot see why not. It's a beautiful thing, man. And I'm like, I can almost say I'm a fan of the culture on content creation for WoW. Can we make that a thing? So like, you have Jerry Seinfeld is a fan of the stand-up culture, right? I'm a fan of the content creation culture for WoW, okay? So whenever I see like folks like you and Soul and I know, well, Noble and the rest of them are pretty big, but they're still growing, like Bellular and all of those. There's always gonna be, different opinions. Some people will like something, some people will dislike it, but the whole thing of it, like people like being able to grow from this and having, muster running audiences and having a lot of good content to put out, it's so much better. And as much as I respect folks like Wow Hobbs and Total Biscuit, rest in peace, and everybody from the game station back in the day, I think right now the quality and quantity of the WoW content, it's so good. Obviously you have a couple of nasty stuff, but that really doesn't surface that much. Don't you agree? I mean, do you see a lot of like? I think
there's a definite good bunch of boys and girls in the WoW community. It's in a good spot right now, and I love seeing like my friends like saying, "Oh, this video did really well," or like, "The stream was amazing," and like I don't know, I really enjoy seeing that kind of stuff. And honestly, like some of the creativity, like I was just gonna say, like your thumbnails, like the thumbnails on your channel are unbelievable, dude. Like I don't know who makes those, but holy god, they are amazing.
Sometimes they work out pretty well. There's some work put into those, but there's some incredible like talented people in this community. It's honestly nuts. Yeah, and it's great to be part of it, man. It's just the thing, because obviously there's bullshit all around, but there's this like one common thing that I can see within the WoW community and also the content creation community. There's a common ground when people just get along or find something that they can agree upon. I don't mind disagreeing with folks, man. I don't mind. It's okay. It's that like that's what makes us different. But being part of this has been it's been a blessing. The game community and the content creation community as well. I think it's among the best. I don't know how like Fortnite WoW YouTubers get along and do stuff together, or Roblox stuff. I don't know if they do that shit, but World of Warcraft content creators do that. I've seen it in the whole history of it, and it's evolved pretty good. And,
you ever been to BlizzCon?
Man, we wanted to go this year. We planned it. It's on the fucking whiteboard.
It's literally the best. Like hanging out with everyone and doing all that. Like, I can't even like it's. It is insane. It is genuinely insane.
Maybe
2020,
next year,
2021.
Yeah.
It's been a personal dream of mine for 10 years. So I really like we both are like super into this. As the first chance we get, we're flying there.
Yeah.
And we're doing it. Plus, it's that's like what Marcelian said. The community is, I don't know if a lot of people have this or maybe they don't realize it. I just realize it more and more each day that I think the community is the coolest thing about everything that we do. Well, for me personally, being in touch with so many people all around the world, and the one thing that connects us is this game. It sounds so trivial, but it's not really that trivial, since
It's crazy if you think about it.
yeah,
It's
and then
just
it
like-
all started 15 years ago, and like so many people, like we don't speak the same language, we don't have the same job, we're so different, but we all know how to freaking finish a quest and how to like gank somebody on the opposite faction or something like that. It's really cool. And this is kind of like the personality that attracted me in the game, and I think a lot of people gravitate towards this, and maybe I hope we have one of the best gaming communities out there.
We do.
I think I don't really see much from other gaming communities, but I don't know. I don't think they can't be as good as WoW, surely. Like it's,
Of course not.
There's so much emotional investment into this. But going back. So that's what Dan would say, the younger MrGM. Okay, no more scripts, man. Okay, stop it with that shit. You can do it, freestyle it. You have the talent, you have the flow. We're gonna do some edits. It's all good. All right. Now, I'm curious, Dan. Do you do any like personal development stuff? I don't know, reading books on personal developments or listen to podcasts in your free time? And if you do you have any recommendations or something like that? If not, we'll just...
Actually don't. No, not really.
Well,
I did want it. So funny. I really like, I don't normally read books, but Shadows Rising, I was like, ooh, that's
tempting.
pretty
right?
good. Yeah.
All right. Well, the thing is, like when we're looking at like successful people or people that really like keep on doing the grind and getting into that, there's something there that motivates them, or there's that fire inside, right? And for some people, it's a lot of personal development. For some other people, it's just that passion, that
Raw passion.
Yeah, that I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it. And that's what I was curious. So it's for you, it's mostly like that fire that burns within, right? There's no going to like, okay, I'm gonna read this book to learn to do this, or gonna listen to this podcast to learn something new. There's none of that.
No, I mean, for the most part, it's like I'll like have an idea in my head. So this is kind of what I did at McLaren as well. Like I would, if like they would come to me, as I said, like with some idea that I didn't know how to do, but I'll teach myself how to do it. And that's kind of like, so I never learned how to use Premiere Pro, for example, which is what I use to edit. And if I ever like had an idea in my head and I was like, oh, like I want to make it do this, I'll be like, right, so I'll Google it, look up a YouTube video, learn how to do it. And that's kind of that, I guess.
Self-taught?
Yeah, everything like, so all the Photoshop stuff, all the Premiere Pro stuff that I do is all self-taught. I never been to like a thing. Like YouTube is such an amazing tool for everything.
Yeah, man.
You just learn it from that, and you learn by doing, obviously. And as I said, like I'll get an idea and I'll be like, yo, I want him to fly in and do a flip and use a green screen and do all that. And I'll be like, right, Google that, and then that's it. That's kind of how I've done that. But yeah, I love like I don't know, I love.
You love what you do.
Yeah, I do.
You're
I really
super
do.
passionate about
fun.
what you do.
Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like you're super creative. And when you said that you were working at McLaren, but then you had nothing to do and you hated your job, man, how many people wouldn't give something to have nothing to do at their daily job, but you got bored and you wanted more? That's actually one of the signs of like a creative person that just wants more, and you can tell that the passion is there, and that's pretty nice. That's a drive that pushes you towards achieving a lot of goals, and not a lot of people have it, and some people can look for it all their lives. So it's really cool. It's really cool.
You found your true purpose. But okay, let me challenge you with this one, Dan. What do you think it takes to fulfill personal dreams and goals, or what has worked for you in that sense?
Yeah, that's a loaded one. I mean, for me, I just kept trying, and like there was a huge risk when I did leave my job to do it full time, and I knew like if I went full time, I'd have more time to do everything, which was obviously the kind of the restriction that was kind of holding me back. But yeah, I guess it's like just taking risks is kind of a big thing. Like I guess going back to what I used to do with the undocumented server stuff, when I kind of transitioned into retail stuff, it was like damn, like this is this is not going to be a good idea. But I guess persistence is pretty important. Even if something doesn't work the first time, just keep trying is a big thing for sure. I don't know, really. It's tough to answer that, I guess.
Hey man, it's challenging, man. We had that had that stuff with Noble. It's like, man, these questions.
It's existential. It is. It's a tough one.
If you've watched any type of personal, I wouldn't say personal developments, but like motivational speeches from a lot of successful people, they pretty much, like they say, of course, there's specifics, but I think like the main gist of it is not give up and keep trying, because the people who fail are the people who stop trying. And that's actually something that I've started to realize a couple of months, like coming into the last couple of months. And whenever I talk to somebody, to a friend or to a family member, and they want to do something, the first thing I tell them, I'm like, hey man, you have to be able to put in the effort and not give up, because there's no way that you put passion and work and everything that you have into something and that doesn't eventually grow into something. It just doesn't work that way. I don't think the universe laws or anything like that function that way. So that's actually one of the, it's probably the best answers you could have given. That's actually pretty cool. I'm just like going through the back of my mind, it's like, oh, I heard Arnold Schwarzenegger talk about that shit. Oh, I heard all those videos that I was watching in college, university. Is like, yeah, see, this is not something that everybody knows, right? You kind of discover it, but it's
really hard to not give up, because you kind of see, like, I don't know, say you put like put it into like our perspective. You put a video out of like a new series or something like that, and you're like really like invested in it, and you're like, right, I really want this series to do well. You put it out, it completely flops. You're like, oh man, like how do I?
That tends to happen.
Yeah, it happens a lot. I mean, I've got a whole YouTube channel full of failed experiments, but sometimes, like one thing I've found, I guess in YouTube specifically, is like you do an episode 1 of something, no one's interested, but you do an episode 2, someone watches it, or more people watch it, and they're like, oh, let's go back and watch episode 1 of this. And obviously the more you do of it, like say you do 10 episodes, there's a chance someone's going to watch episode 7 and be like, yo, I'm going to go watch the rest of this. I'm going to go binge the rest of these series. So it's an interesting thing to never give up, especially with YouTube, where it's like quite a lot, like depending on the video, it's quite a lot of effort to make a video.
People don't notice, man. People don't know. It's like, have you ever had a situation where some relative or some, I don't know, person would ask you, hey Dan, what do you do? And you find it really hard to explain exactly what you did?
I just tell them I'm unemployed.
just get it over with.
I'm unemployed for 9 years and I bought a house. I think that raises more questions than it answers.
But it's hard though, because you tell them that what you do, and they're like, "Oh, you mean like, I don't know," and they'll say like ninja or something. You're like, "Yeah, like ninja."
Sure.
Yeah, it's because it's hard for like, so like for example, like when I told my parents I was going to do it, they were like, "Is it a real job though?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I could probably make something out of it." They're like, I don't know about that."
I think Flame can relate.
Oh yeah.
It's it's pretty difficult to explain to, I don't know, people who are like, I wouldn't say are older, but are not really understanding of what happens with the present day and what happens with the online stuff and all of that. But yeah, as you said, it is a lot of work, and when the video flops, the first feeling is, oh, man, that work went out the drain. But that was actually a really cool example, because if you like have like a series planned and you do a part 2 of that, a part 3, part 4, that's really cool. I never thought about it like that. People, like the people that would be interested in the 2 or 3, they would be also interested in the first episodes.
Exactly.
And the whole story about not giving up and the persistence you talked about, I think MrGM is like a living example out of that. Because I know I followed his stuff like from BFA, and then I looked for older videos and stuff, and there was like progression. Remember the days then where you were, and everybody was doing this, like you hit 2K subscribers, let's make a video about it and celebrate it, make a special. We hit 3K subscribers, all right.
I've got all those still.
Yeah, I know.
The terrible microphone, the scuff sound.
Those were
still
the days. Those were the days. Those were the days, man. It's like, you know, making your foot over there. Okay, Last question, Flame, carry on. Do you see it? 'Cause,
Yeah, speaking of how it was in the past and you getting into YouTube and all of that, do you see yourself doing this in the future, like, I don't know, 10, 20 years from now, YouTube or Twitch or both? If so, like, in what capacity do you see yourself continuing on as a content creator?
So that's a terrifying question. I hate it. It scares the hell out of me because I know it's not here forever. It's funny actually because like a couple of years ago, I would say, yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing YouTube and Twitch or whatever. But last year, I got picked up for the Race to World First by Red Bull, and I did some commentating.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to watch.
It was exactly a year ago today. In fact, it was that the event was on, and from there I did the Method event, and then after that, did another event and stuff like that, and like. It was like really good. Like, I don't know, obviously the Red Bull one was a little bit sketchy, like to begin with, like trying to learn how to do all that stuff. But that was something I really enjoyed, and I would love to get into casting. Like, stuff. But it's tough because, as I said earlier, the only game I play is WoW. So if they're like, "Yo, dude, you want to do Call of Duty?" I'm like,
Give me a moment to pry. Let me see how this works. Yeah. I think, but like for casting, I think you have there's people that have good voices, broadcasting voices. I'm pretty sure if you did this already, some people already talked to you about this. You have a good broadcasting voice, my dude. I don't think you will have a problem on doing Call of Duty. You just have to, learn.
Wing it.
Whatever they do over there, I don't know. They shoot themselves. I don't know what the fuck they do over there.
No, it's interesting. It is interesting because a lot of the, for example, like the Race to World First in Nihilotha, I don't raid. Like I play literally a warrior. Like that was back then. I played a few classes on the beta. Actually, I've learned loads, but back then, literally just a warrior. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what if like Preach starts talking about like priest abilities? I'm like,
yeah. And then he passes it to you. So what do you think, Dan?
Exactly. So it kind of got to a point where like you would pick up a lot of stuff while watching it, obviously. But you'd also learn how to kind of avoid that kind of situation, and you'd tell like your co-cast, like, dude, I know nothing.
Oh man, that's so cool.
But it's fun. Like a lot of the, like, for example, like one person I casted with a lot was Falcone, one of Dan Falcone's, or like a professional caster who does like all sorts of mobile games and whatever, and he does WoW. The Race to World First, and he knows nothing of WoW. So we would just sit there and just like banter for a while. Like I know obviously a bit about WoW. We talk about the lore, we talk about the aesthetic and stuff like that. But a lot of it, especially with the Method events specifically, was the chat. Like the chat would be going wild, and it'd be like super crazy because I don't, they had like a 80,000 viewers. I'm never gonna get 80,000 viewers. So it was just like a really cool opportunity to just like, I'll say something and then you get this instant reaction, and that was like super fun. Like those shifts with Dan were so quick because we wouldn't, be, once you're on like 400 pulls on N'Zoth, you're like, oh my god, please just don't talk about this.
But dude, we watched that, and I think you did a pretty good job. I didn't see any, baffling or rumbling or something like that. You did pretty good, man. It's something you should look forward to. As this is like talking in regards to like, do you see yourself doing content creation in the next 10 or 20 years?
I'd like to, if it's still a thing.
I mean, man, look at Swifty.
It's part of being a creative person, I think, and there's no way that doing YouTube for so many years you haven't acquired a certain set of skills.
And that's true.
You said that you were a data analyst before. I mean, there's no way that cannot translate into anything. And I think, I don't know. Can people use their YouTube channels as resumes nowadays? Like, hey, look what I can do, right?
I mean, it's a good portfolio.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see why not. It's like for a couple of fields of work and whatever, you can like, hey, look.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's so it's funny with YouTube, I guess, and streaming. It's kind of like a ton of jobs in itself, right? So you've got like your own social media manager, you're the video editor, you're the commentator, you're the the storyboard artist, you're the thumbnail artist,
you're the manager, the general manager too.
Exactly, and you're probably the accountant as well.
I was about to say.
It's
so you wear just all the hats, and I guess on a resume like that would look amazing, surely. Especially in a couple of years when it's a bit more. I feel like it's like slowly getting there where like people will kind of see it as a career, but give it 4 years ago, people will be like, YouTube, like what's that? That's where like stupid cat videos are.
That is true, and I think that stigma still lives on, but we can. I think we can all agree that you can make a living out of this stuff, and you can like make it so that it works for the future too. But there's also this thing, right? And I know this is why you hate this question. This is why we hate it as well. It's like there's always this uncertainty, right? Because for once, right, one thing is like World of Warcraft. Okay, how much will this game still gather people around? That's one thing. And then there's YouTube, because the platform is always changing. It's dynamic. It's the algorithm. It's the apocalypse. It's whatever. Then there's Twitch, and they also starting with the DMCA recently, and all of these uncertainties make you a little bit worried about the future. So I think like you know, a plan B or something like that is always good. And if you think about like you know, the experience you gathered doing YouTube and Twitch all the years, and also having, you know, being present at the race to world first and stuff like that, I think that will be a pretty good and solid, I don't know, argument for something in the same field. So let's not get too worried. I think it's fine. And if anything, I mean, you have a pretty big following, and most content creators have their own communities, you know. And I am always pleasantly surprised to find out how supportive people are. When I started doing this with Marcelian, I was a little bit on the fence. Is like, man, what if people don't like me? Like, who is this extra guy? Like, what am I gonna do? And that guy said that, and it's like, but then you have like all of the positive support, positive feedback, and like you said, in the community there are also very talented people, graphical artists and stuff like that, right? So I think we're gonna be fine. I don't know. I think
it's only gonna grow. Yeah, I feel like, especially, I mean, WoW. With WoW, it's an interesting thing. I mean, as we go 15 years, I've really, especially with Classic now as well. Like, I don't see it burning out anytime soon. I mean, they could kind of just do another, you know, Classic TBC Wrath, etc. So I mean, that's a good couple of years. Even then, so
13 more years.
If all else fails, I'm gonna have to go to Fortnite or something.
That's how we always say.
Don't
Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft. We got this, baby.
Yeah, whatever the latest trend is, I'll go for it.
All right. Well, Dan, it's been a pleasure. I absolutely loved our chat, and I don't know, man. I'm just happy we get to go through a little bit behind the webcam, as Flame said, and, you know, find some more juicy stuff. It's really, really cool. I don't think, you know, a lot of content creators don't get to do that as much, right? You know, obviously nobody wants to go into super detailed personal stuff, but there's like interesting things that are happening behind the camera. So thank you for accepting this.
It was really cool energy, man.
It was. It's like we did the first one with Noble, and we were like super, like we wouldn't expect it to go this natural and super cool. And now the same thing happened with you. It's like, man, this is unbelievable. Like we're looking forward to all the other people out there coming in.
Exactly. Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah.
As I said,
it's the persistence.
Yeah, it was really cool. And you know, I've personally found a few things that you said very inspiring, and it's really nice to think about. So this kind of connection with people is really cool to have, especially when you can get a little bit, let's say a little bit more transparent. Like Marcelian said, don't go into like the super personal detail stuff, but like we're still people behind the camera. Some of us have personalities on stream and on our videos, but you know, showcasing our, like, I don't know, is it too much to say human side?
I don't know.
It feels like
it is completely true. Like people don't see it as, they just see it as like, I don't know, like viewers see it as like just like not people, I guess. They're just like, I don't know. It's a weird thing.
It's really weird, hard to explain.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, guys, if you want to check out Mr.GM, and we 100% recommend you do, you can go over there. You can see twitch.tv/MrGM, youtube.com/MrGameMasterReviews. That was the original name. Did you manage to change that?
I changed it, but it still goes to it.
Like, I don't know what. It still gets the same channel.
It works. It works.
It works.
It's my long name.
And also, you can find Mr.GM on Twitter, right? Twitter. Oh, we didn't put. Why do we keep forgetting about
fine.
Twitter?
It's Twitter.
Twitter.com/MrGM. So
Mr. GM YT, someone took Mr. GM, but that's a whole story.
I know. Hold on. No, we're gonna close it out with that story because I remember you said that Mr. GM YouTube was taken by a lady or something. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Really?
What?
Yeah.
Can
So
you-
I mean, she didn't take it, right? She doesn't know who I am. She's Portuguese, I think. So all she does, so she doesn't actually use Twitter. She has Facebook, and just posts her Facebook posts on Twitter, like it automatically, like through a bot or something like that. And I've actually spoken to her before, but I had to use Google Translate
to get the conversation
I was
going.
trying to explain to her like the situation, and she just didn't understand it, and then just ignored me, and then that's it. And I don't think I'm ever gonna get it.
All right. So if you're gonna go for twitter.com/MrGM, you're probably gonna see a Portuguese woman. That's fine. Just
Don't follow her.
Yeah, don't follow her.
We're sending the wrong message.
All right, lads. Well, once again, thank you very much, Dan, aka MrGM, for joining. It's been a blast. Thank you, Flame.
Thank you, everybody.
We're close enough. We're gonna see you guys and hear you guys next Monday for the 3rd episode with another surprise guest. You're gonna look for that one, I'm sure. Take care, everybody.
Have a good one.
I'ma do a slash bow. Still I play WoW. Still I play WoW.